Picture this. You have a disagreement with your partner, and you insist that you're right. But they also think they're right. Where do you go for guidance? Where do you go to seek help? Introducing the Am I the Asshole subreddit. Thousands of people explain their dilemmas, and even more chronically online people respond with their opinions. So today, we're going to see if we can decide who's the asshole. First up, am I the asshole for banning a relative from our house right after they donated our furniture while we were away from home? Okay, first off, why? I'm still shaking while typing this. My wife Paula and I just got back from a trip. It was our first time away since our twin daughter was born. We gave my mother-in-law Hakiko a spare key just to check on things if necessary. Paula is sentimental. When her grandmother passed away, she left her 2 hand-carved mahogany pieces, a desk, and a vanity. They were Paula's absolute favorite things. We walked in yesterday and the room was empty. Hakiko was there, all smiles, saying she made a surprise for us by getting rid of that oldie, dusty junk to give us a modern look. She replaced them with some cheap flat-pack furniture. She literally gave away Paula's inheritance without asking. Why? I told her to leave and give me the keys. I changed the locks today. Paula's been in tears. Now the rest of the family are calling me an abusive guy and controlling for isolating Paula from her mother Hakiko over some old piece of junky wood. They say Akiko's heart was in the right place, and I'm being an asshole for banning a grandmother from seeing her grandkid over furniture. My wife is on my side. She agrees with the ban, but the constant guilt from her family is making me feel like a monster. Am I the asshole? Okay. Someone gives me their keys and says, hey, go check up on the house. Make sure it doesn't fucking burn to the ground. Why are you selling their furniture or donating whatever? You don't just walk into somebody else's house and just get rid of their furniture. Like, that's absurd. What kind of a surprise is just refurnishing somebody's house? A surprise is like, take me out to dinner, or like, bake me a cake, or, show up with some cookies or something. Not fucking sell all my furniture and replace it with some garbage. She did something wrong, and it hurt your wife. But banning her and like keeping her from her granddaughter, I don't know, that's a little far for me, but to each their own, I guess. Next up, am I the asshole for making my wife ride in the back seat because she couldn't stop distracting me? This happened over the holidays and my wife is still upset with me over it. Our family went to visit my in-laws for New Year's. It was about a 3 to 4 hour drive, mostly highway, but takes us through 2 metro areas with pretty significant traffic. My wife gets nervous about driving in traffic, so I always drive when we visit her family. She also tends to get car sick on longer drives and needs to sit in the front seat to help ease it. I love my wife with all my heart, but she is not good sitting shotgun. She makes huge reactions to any change in traffic, grabbing the handle, putting her hand on the dash, gasping, telling me to watch out. It's not like I'm an aggressive or risky driver. I've never gotten a speeding ticket or been in an accident. Yeah, I get the fuck out of my car. But if there's a car a half mile ahead of us that puts on the brakes, she freaks out and acts like we're all about to die. It's incredibly distracting. I've talked to her multiple times about how her reactions actually makes it more difficult for me to concentrate on driving, but she always says she can't control herself because she's nervous in traffic. On the way to her family's place, she sat up front with me, but traffic was pretty bad. Lots of slowdowns due to weather conditions, and in general, just kind of slow going. But I've been driving in cold weather my whole life and know how to control my speed and give lots of extra space to any surrounding cars. I understand that you can't control anyone else on the road and that accidents happen, but I do everything in my control to keep my car and the people inside safe. This guy just seems like a good driver by how he's writing all this. He's also using commas, which I appreciate. So the entire drive, my wife was on edge making all the reactions I mentioned. It's very distracting to have someone next to you doing that sort of thing while driving. I completely agree. I mentioned this to my wife numerous times on the drive, and she always deflected blame at me for the way I was driving. When we were getting ready to head home, I told my wife she needs to sit in the back, and our 14-year-old son will sit up front with me. I told her it's either that or she drives us home. She got upset with me and started giving excuses about her car sickness. I told her to take some NyQuil or something else to help her sleep, but she refused and told me I'm being a jerk. I told her that she can drive and she refused that too. Eventually, she reluctantly got in the back seat with our 11-year-old daughter. The ride home was much easier traffic-wise, and my wife sat pretty much silent in the back seat the entire time, pouting. When we got home, she told me that she felt ill the entire drive but didn't say anything because she didn't want to make a big deal out of anything. She told me I humiliated her by making her sit in the back and that I should be more considerate of her feelings. Look, if I'm driving, talk all you want, bump the music, I don't care, go crazy, but the reactions and shit, that just pisses me off. And I'm sure other people that drive can say the same thing. Why not just put on like a sleep mask or something? Just close your eyes. Put on a sleep mask, put on some headphones, and just relax. And then don't say a fucking word. Honestly, like, that's just, it's super annoying. And I'm completely siding with this guy. If she can't relax, then you're sitting in the back, or you're taking your own car, or you're just fucking taking the bus. I do not care. That guy's definitely not the asshole. Next up, am I the asshole for insisting on keeping the bathroom clean? I live with my boyfriend, his grandma, and his dad. I need to know if I'm being unreasonable or rude. I feel like I'm going crazy in this house. We all share one bathroom. Oftentimes the grandma will leave poop on the seat or in the bowl. Grandma just shitting like it's nobody's business. I didn't want to embarrass her, so I've been sending my boyfriend to talk to her, usually to say, have you left poop on the toilet? Just make sure you clean up after yourself when you're done in there. And she will always argue that it wasn't her or she doesn't remember doing that. So my boyfriend and I came up with the idea to put up a sign. It reads, please remember to wipe the toilet seat and flush the toilet. That's fairly reasonable. The dad is mad at me because he thinks I put the sign up and that it's about him. So he's been avoiding me hardcore. I guess he thought I was being passive aggressive. I don't know. So at 4 a.m., I go to use the bathroom and I see there's poop on the seat. At this point, I'm mad because I've asked my boyfriend to talk to her about 4 separate times on different occasions. So I asked my boyfriend to put up a bigger sign and then talk to her in the morning. I'm just picturing like a fucking billboard in the bathroom. Hey, Granny, clean up your fucking shit. I asked my boyfriend to put up a bigger sign and then talk to her in the morning. I asked him to tell her, girlfriend is frustrated and won't ask me to clean up your mess anymore. So from now on, she's going to come straight to you and tell you to clean it up no matter what time it is. Morning comes, he goes, talks, and the entire time she's saying, it wasn't me, but fine. Then she goes to use the bathroom. On the way out of the bathroom, boyfriend and dad are talking. She rips the sign down and crumples it in front of my boyfriend saying, well, you didn't have to tell me because she already put up a sign. Then she tosses it in the garbage. She blamed me for the sign. Then she starts crying and walking away. Dad just stands there staring. He got the same talk that she did from boyfriend. Sometimes he leaves butt prints on the seat. How fucking greasy is this guy's ass, man? What the hell? So I'm guessing he also blames me. I've never lived in a house with someone who forgets to flush the toilet or even check the seat before leaving. Is this normal? Am I being unreasonable? At the bottom, she just kind of goes over like how she can't suggest to take Granny to the doctor and how she would love to move out, but she doesn't have any money right now. So, look, I don't know if Granny's, like, maliciously shitting on the toilet seat. And, like, if she is, props to her, because that's hilarious. And if I was 80 and I saw a big-ass sign, it's got to be, like, the size of a Bristol board by now, because I don't know how big the sign can possibly get. I saw a sign saying, flush the toilet and clean up the seat. You best believe I'm shitting everywhere, and I'm not flushing or cleaning it up. On a real note, though, I do think that if she has trouble controlling her aim or like her bowel movements or whatever it is, she should go to the doctor. And I don't know if they give like medication for that or like they suggest wearing diapers or whatever it is. That's just old age, man. Like you when you get old, you just shit and like, you know, you can't even tell that you're shitting. So the only reasonable thing to do at this point is take her to the doctor. I mean, like she said, she can't really suggest take her to the doctor, but I think she should just like talk to the boyfriend and be like, yo, take Granny to the doctor. I don't think you're an asshole for this. I do think you handled it wrong. Forget the sign thing. Like, don't put up a fucking Bristol board that says, like, make sure you flush the toilet, because I'd also rip that shit. I would shit on the sign if I was Granny. So, definitely wasn't handled correctly, but I don't think you're an asshole for that. I don't think Granny's an asshole either, unless she is secretly just shitting on the toilet seat on purpose. Next, we got, am I the asshole for telling my wife's family that they can't cook turkey in our oven at Christmas? Each Christmas, my wife and I host for her family. This has been going on for a while now, as we have young kids, and it's just better for the kids to be at home all day on Christmas Day to play with their new things. Look, I'm going to cut you off right there. The way I was raised, and I could be wrong, we always went to, like, my grandmother's or my uncle's for Christmas or whatever it was. You get the shit, you play with it for like an hour before you leave, and then you come home at the end of the day and you continue playing with it. It's not going anywhere. Unless you rented your kids' Christmas presents, they can wait. My wife and I are both vegetarians. We're not militant. We totally believe that everyone has the right to choose what they eat. Nevertheless, we both find the meat industry horrific and hate the thought of what meat is. Most of my wife's family are also vegetarian, which helps, but her dad and brother aren't. Normally, they cook the turkey at home and then heat it up in our microwave, as we never use it and aren't bothered by meat being cooked in it. However, our microwave is broken this year. We've not replaced it or looked into getting it fixed, as we have no call to use it. My father-in-law is now saying that we should either cook the turkey in our oven or at least let them heat it up in the oven. I've said no, as we really don't want our oven smelling of meat. Same for the air fryer. Hold on. Who's microwaving a turkey? I don't know about bringing a turkey and then microwaving it. You're taking the turkey to the office the next day for work? Microwave it all you want. Go crazy. Nuke that shit. But like the day, I don't know. I don't know. We said they're welcome to bring their own air fryer and use that, but he's being a bit difficult and saying we're putting our silly beliefs ahead of Christmas spirit. I don't know about hosting a bring your own air fryer party. I would not be attending. I'll just say that. I've tried pointing out that neither of us object to them eating meat in our house. That's their choice. We just don't want it being cooked in our oven. It's got to the point now where I'm seriously thinking of buying a new microwave tomorrow just to put an end to this. Am I the asshole for not wanting meat to be cooked in our oven? Update. I've seen a few comments on the microwave and people traveling to us, so here it goes. It broke last Christmas Day, unfortunately. Mother-in-law was warming up some cake, and it fizzed and stopped working. Usually my cake doesn't fizz. She probably put that shit on for 10 minutes and thought it was 1 minute. Regardless, It's an integrated one, so replacing it isn't as simple as just buying a brand new one. We need it to be fitted into the correct space, and there's not really enough room to have it sit on the kitchen surfaces. It was fine for them to reheat in the microwave because we never really used it, and we use our oven daily. Plus, microwave doesn't retain the smell like an oven would, and also much easier and quicker to clean. We live in the UK. We're about a 10-minute drive from the rest of the family, so it's not like we've made everyone commit to an arduous journey. Everyone wants to come to ours, and it's better for the kids, who are the only grandkids on the side of the family. Okay, first of all, I've talked about the kids already. They can wait till the end of the day to play with their things. Hosting is a job. You have to clean before, clean after, and if that means dealing with the smell of turkey, spray some Febreze or something, or open a window. When you're the host, that's just what you have to deal with. I hosted a party one time, and the floor was just sticky like you would not believe. Like, you know when you walk on a drag strip and your shoes get like fall off and get stuck to the floor? That's how sticky it was. Probably stickier. You can't say bring your own air fryer or don't eat meat or whatever. That's just part of being a host. I'm going to say that you're the asshole here. You're hosting so your kids can just play with their toys and shit, and it's like easier. Either go to grandpa's house or just like fucking deal with the smell. I don't know what to tell you. Next up, am I the asshole for being upset that my friend planned a surprise brunch for my birthday and then charged me for my meal later? Fuck your friend. Backstory. For my birthday, my two closest friends surprised me for brunch. I was dropped off at a restaurant with no idea what was happening, and they were there waiting. We did a brunch special, food and unlimited mimosas. They got me flowers, a small cake, and a gift. And later we got ice cream. One friend paid the bill. 2 weeks later, she Venmo charged me for $53 for my brunch and ice cream without saying anything beforehand. That's what bothered me. To me, if something is a surprise, it's generally assumed that you're not paying unless it's communicated up front. It wasn't about the money, and I don't mind paying. It just felt weird to plan a surprise and then silently charge me after. I brought it up and said I was okay paying my share, but that it threw me off that she never mentioned it. She got defensive and said she forgot to pay for me, that I shouldn't have expected it to be covered, and that I was being entitled and ungrateful since she already did a lot. Gift, flowers, traveling to see me. She also said paying for a surprise is subjective. I generally was grateful and was never trying to ask for more. I just think that if you plan a surprise, you either cover it or communicate expectations ahead of time. Charging someone for a surprise that you planned for them feels like giving a gift and then asking them to pay for it, and it felt like she wanted to take the credit for doing something for me but wasn't willing to actually fully take care of what she planned. To me, that feels kind of off-putting and not genuine. We talked it out and she doesn't see my side at all, and she says some people agree with her. Is there a perspective I'm not seeing, or did she probably lie about what went down? I think her wanting me to pay in the first place was already weird, but what makes me even more confused is that when we talked it out, she doesn't think what she did is wrong, which is mind-blowing to me. I just feel like it's hard to believe she doesn't see what I'm saying. I feel like she knew it was wrong, but just didn't want to spend the money, and because I brought it up, she has to talk her way out of it. Is there a perspective I'm missing, or am I valid for being upset about this? If it was a money thing and she couldn't afford brunch, she shouldn't have planned brunch. There's also a second person, so they could have easily covered her part of the bill. Like, instead of them all paying $50, they pay $75 each and she gets it for free. It is her birthday after all. If she can afford it and she has a job and she has money, fuck that bitch. I'm fucking boxing her the next time I see her. She could have easily just surprised her by showing up, or just been like, let's spend the day together or a week or whatever for your birthday. But she planned the brunch. She invited her there. Usually it's assumed that the person inviting the other person out is the one who pays. I would fucking drop that friend because that's just fucked. Your friend's an asshole. Am I the asshole for doing my own thing on a group trip? I'm 24. I just got back from a beach trip with my friends. We split an Airbnb evenly and rented a car. The plan was basically chill vacation, nothing super strict. By the third day, it was clear the group wasn't on the same page. 2 people wanted to sleep till noon every day and then just drink at the house. Why even go on vacation? That's fine, but I didn't want to spend the whole trip doing that. A couple of us actually wanted to go out and do stuff. The night before, I booked a snorkeling thing for the next morning. I paid for it myself. I mentioned it kind of late and not everyone was around when I said it. In the morning, me and 2 others took the rental car and left early. When we got back, the people who stayed were pissed. They said I took a shared car without asking and that it felt like I ditched them and changed the vibe of the trip. I said they could have come if they wanted, they just didn't want to wake up early. Now it's awkward and people are acting like I try to take control of the vacation. I honestly don't think everyone has to do the exact same thing the whole time, especially when we're all adults. Am I the asshole? I'm going to go with yes, just because you didn't communicate it clearly. If you had mentioned it to everyone and 2 of them decided they wanted to sleep in and not come, then you go. You definitely could have made the effort. You could have put in a little bit more effort to communicate it to those people. I completely agree with everyone doing their own thing on a trip if that's what you guys are into. And I wouldn't want to stay back and drink the whole day either. But at the same time, if you had communicated it properly, it never would have been a problem. So I'm not going to say you're the asshole. I would just say you could have communicated a little bit better and informed your friends of what your plans were. That's it for Am I the Asshole? Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments, if you have like a different viewpoint than me. What we've learned today is don't go snorkeling without your friends, don't sell anybody's furniture without asking, and keep shitting on that seat, Granny. Let me know if you guys enjoyed, and I'll run it back. Other than that, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.